class we have studied we need to have understanding how to use different types of verbs. Like we have three types of verbs: verb of action, काम करने वाला verb; verb of state, state जाहिर करने वाले verb; and verb showing possession और मलकियत जाहिर करने वाले verb. So first of all we are going to start structure of. पहले I have discussed with you the function. Now coming toward the structure. So the basic structure of verb of action is what? Like we have subject, like in the previous class I have told you, doer of action, काम करने वाला. Verb, action verb, because we are doing simple present tense with reference to action, and then object, that is receiver of action. So you can see here that you should have some idea related to persons as well. We have three persons in English language: first person, second person, third person. And what do we mean by these person? First person, whosoever is talking. Whosoever is talking, जो भी बात कर रहा हो, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, हम बात कर रहे हैं. So that is called first person. So for first person we have I, we. And what do we mean by first person? Whosoever is talking, singular, single person, I, plural, including we. Then we have second person. What do we mean by second person? To whom you talk, जिससे आप बात कर रहे हो. So it can be a single person. You may be addresser, and you may be talking to a single person. A single addressee may be there, and you may have more. Like I'm teacher, so I may have in front a lot of students. In both cases, that is called second person you. And the third person, about whom you talk, जिसके बारे में आप बात कर रहे हो. It can be he, she, Ali, Aisha, it, any, and they. They may be more than a single person. So we have three persons: first person I, we; second person you; third person he, she, name it, and they. So the purpose behind telling you about these person is what? That the basic structure of English sentences, that is subject, verb, object, you need to have idea relate, because at the position of subject definitely you need to use these pronouns. Every time if you are talking about Ali or Aisha, and every time repeatedly you use Aisha, Ali, so it will become monotonous. People will get fed up of consistent use of these names. So therefore you are in need to use these pronouns I, we, you, they, he, she, name it, in order to indicate, in order to refer toward these persons. So as far as structure is concerned, doer of action like he, she, it, name, if the name is singular, suppose Ali or Aisha, what you need to use at the very beginning, that is at the position of subject. This is the basic structure. Then you need to use verb, and in our case the verb will be action verb, because we are doing simple present tense with reference to action verb. Then what you need to do, that you need to use SRES. You need to keep in mind that for making simple present tense, when you are using he, she, it, or name, so what you need to do, that you need to use SRES with what? With verb. For example, I say he or she goes to school. So what you need to do, that for go, that is the base form. Let me tell you something about base form, root form, first form. These are the different names. ये सेम ही है, synonymous, they are used synonymously. उसको फर्स्ट फॉर्म भी बोलते हैं गो को, इसको बेस फॉर्म भी बोलते हैं, इसको रूट फॉर्म भी बोलते हैं. So you need to use SRES with the first form, with the base form, with the root form when you want to make positive sentence. Positive भी बोलते हैं, इसको assertive sentence भी बोलते हैं. Positive sentence, assertive sentence, declarative sentence. ये तीनों, these are the different names for the same sentence. Okay. So you need to use SRES plus. If you want to use negative or interrogative, then you need to use does as well. For example, he goes to school, वो school जाता है. You have used, but once you want to use does, then you need to go back to the base form, to the first form, to the root form. He doesn't go to school. So, or does he go to school? What I mean to say, for positive sentence, for affirmative sentence, you need to use S or ES with these pronouns or nouns. Okay, then object. For example, I say Aisha writes a letter. So Aisha is the subject, doer of action. Verb is write, that is again an action verb. A letter is object. Then the second group, that is I, we, you, they in plural. When you want to use these pronouns or nouns, then what you need to do, that again the basic structure will be definitely followed. You need to use verb of action. But here, in contrast to he, she, it, name, where you were supposed to use S or ES, you don't need to use S or ES here. For example, I say I cook biryani. मैं biryani पकाता हूँ. So you can see here, cook, I haven't used S or ES with this cook because pronoun is I. And keep this in your mind that when you want to make negative sentence or interrogative sentence, instead of this does, you need to use do. For example, I cook food. In order to make this negative, you need to say I do not cook food. Then do I cook food? Don't I cook food? Yes, you do. No, you don't. I will give you example and you will be able to understand the examples, how to make positive, how to make negative, how to make negative question, and how to answer, because you are not just supposed to understand what the other person is saying, you are also in need to respond accordingly. If someone is saying something, you should have comprehension as well as you should have the ability to answer the question put by the addresser. Being addressee, you cannot become silent. The person is asking from you something and you just keep deaf and dumb and you are not answering. So communication is a two-way process. It is not a single-way process. It is not from one side. You can have conversation, you can have interaction. When you are saying something, the other person is responding. You are again saying something, the other person is saying something, and this way you have a sort of interaction, you have a sort of conversation. So let me give you some examples how to make sentences of simple present tense with reference to action, how to make negative, how to make interrogative, how to make negative question, and how to answer